You not ready meetups for WV Tug, Gary?
This is some other dude's group. All right, Gary, you go ahead.
It's going. We're ready. Everybody ready?
I love it.
Come on in.
I guess. Don't tell me that you're starting. Just start. All right.
Speak up.
For all of you guys out there that wanted to be part of a bigger group, there was a group that one of our other consultants, West Virginia consultants, introduced me to. It's the West Virginia Technical User Group. They're out here, the wvtug.slack.com. You guys can go out, sign up, join the conversation. I invited those guys out for a lunch today, but it was a little bit late, so they probably didn't have the capability of coming out. Anywho, the topic of today's conversation is on Cockpit. For me, Cockpit was something that I was completely unaware of, even though it's part of our product line. About a year ago, whenever I started messing around with the Rev, not the Rev, I discovered this item that was installed, and this is how you get the self-hosted engine. All right, so install the self-hosted engine. You still have the opportunity to go in and do a regular deploy, but you can do a self-hosted engine deploy from Cockpit, and that's how I discovered this through the virtualization piece. What you're looking at here is actually a lab that we have sitting over in the other room, and we used the Cockpit installer from Cockpit to do our self-hosted engine deploy. It is not running cluster. This is all on NFS. The thing that I wanted to show you about Cockpit is that it's not just a single interface. This could literally connect to all of your systems out there and show you in a quick snapshot or a glance of what's happening on your system. Right now we're looking at the disk I/O across the Rev environment, the 4 hypervisors that we have set up and the 1 NFS server that we have set up. And this is what started to intrigue me about this product, is the fact that I could use a single UI to communicate, not only just to communicate and to see what's going on in the system, but I could use this one or single UI to actually manipulate the system, right? So here we're just looking at the monitoring pieces. And if you wanted to snap back through, you guys might remember this from the last lecture we had whenever I was showing you my Rev environment on my lab environment. This is a very similar piece. Whenever I tell you that you could go in and you could manage the individual systems, if you come up here to this system icon, and then you can select any one of your hosts. We'll take a look at the Rev hypervisor 1, and you can go through and you can look at the different system pieces. These are the same metrics that are being collected and showed on the other user interface, but this one is isolated to this one system, right? So if you have a system that's acting up, it'll be very simple for you to go in and kind of identify visually what it is that, which host is acting up, or which one's having high disk I/O, or you'll see those in that visualization on that overlay where you have the multiples. Well, then you can come in here and you can start to look further into what's going on with the system and find out exactly what's wrong. Is it the network? Is it the disk? I don't know. There's nothing wrong with this system, by the way. I don't have a system that's acting up. One of the other cool things is it kind of starts to aggregate your logs, right? Gives you a quick glance into what's happening on your system through your logs, right? And you can set it for different severity levels, right? Error and above, right? Gives you a quick look how many of those particular errors come up, and you can start to drill down by system. One of the other super cool things about this is it allows you to go in and manipulate your storage environment. So how many of you guys have gone in and then started doing logical volumes or wanting to mount up NFS, and you got to go in there and type a bunch of commands and do PV display, fix your device, go in, do your VG stuff. Well, within Cockpit, you can actually create mounts that you know are out there. You just go out there, give it the server address, the path on the server, and the local place to mount it, and when to mount it, and how to mount it, right? And it'll mount it up for you, right? There's also a spot down here if you wanted to create a RAID device, if you wanted to do volume groups. So volume group management is kind of one of the most hated things I think most sysadmins have to do, right? You got to go out there, get the PVs, do the VG add, join them all up. Well, if you have multiple disks that are available, it'll show you all those disks. You just select it, tell it what VG you wanted to put it on, and create. And it goes back behind the scenes and does it for you. You don't have to do anything. It's amazing. It also does the VDO. So if you have the disk deduplication stuff that you want to turn on any one of your, so say you're using a cluster or something like that, and you want to do data deduplication, you can set that up in here as well. This particular system only has one drive for you to look at. So the next thing down on the list is networking. How many of us like to go in and do networking, right? You want to create a new bond. You want to do active backup, load balancing. You want to do any one of those. You want to do firewalls. You come right in here and do it for this individual host.
That's my favorite feature.
Making a team is where it's at.
Just
Team of vendors.
Yeah. So if you wanted to add a bond,
I haven't done
you
it.
tell it, I want bonds, whatever number, the members of your bond. You give us your MAC address, active backup, how do you want the bond set up? So if you want round robin, transmit on request, active load balancing, you can set that right up in there.
He's on the interface of whatever system it is.
It's slick.
This is very nice. And VLANing, right? Everybody likes to go in there and modify your IF config. That's fun, right? Well, this gives you a visual way to do it and do it quickly for a specific system. You go in here and look at your rules. You can add services in your rules. So if you have a known service that you wanted to add, Cockpit, you click that button, click add, and it'll add it to your firewall deal. It is super slick. This product is probably one of my favorite products that has come out. Going down from there, you have overt machines. So Travis and I were just having a conversation where he was talking about some of the things that are going to be going out and things coming in with Cockpit. But right now, I don't know if I'm going to add that or not. We're on the add ours.
I was gonna say, just have that around there that's over there.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this.
See, aren't you glad I changed the SSO thing so you could access it by IP address too? Kicked off the web security. It's gonna make you do the fully qualified domain thing. Try getting rid of that flashover.
He doesn't know that. All right. Well, if I could get this to work, what it would show you, it would show you a list of the different clusters. It would show you a list of the different VMs. Oh. Yeah, thanks, man.
Bazinga.
Thanks, man. Hosted engine, usage, disks, and the thing I want to show you here is this is this. This is the Rev Manager. This is the dashboard for Rev Manager. And that's what that's showing you, right? Disks. You see the disks that are added? And so if you wanted a console to the system, you can have it. You can tell it to restart, shut down, suspend, so on and so forth. You could actually put it in the host maintenance. We'll not be doing that. This is the cluster. These are the virtual machines in the cluster. Right now, I just added a different cluster for IBM, so that's probably why I'm not seeing the IBM server in there. And then you can see the individual stats for what's going on in the cluster, right? So it's a handy interface, right? Very, very handy. And it's got a plugin for your BDSM. You wanted to go in and look at it. Your accounts. So this is one of the things that I think it's weak on, is the way that it does accounts. You can set it up so that the system does your LDAP, right? Or privileged authentication. And this console will use that authentication method that you have set up for your system. There is a plugin that you have to go in and modify to allow specific groups to do certain tasks. What? Oh, okay. I think you wanted to say something. This create new account. This is not hooked up to LDAP, and it will create a local account, right? So I'm expecting that they'll do some type of additions to that in the future. For services, you want to know what the state of your services are, or if one of your services fails, right? Like on my home system, I have Docker on one of my systems, and Docker fails. And Cockpit also fails, right? This will tell you what's running, virtualization daemon, libvirt, right? You want to know about that service? You come in here and you click in, and you look, and it'll show you the service logs and stuff like that for the individual services, right? So no more wondering what's going on with my system, or why isn't something running, right? Just click right in there. You can do this stuff. I have not done the diagnostics reports or had any reason to do it.
Does that create the SOS?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that's an SOS report.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Hopefully when they get the sauce cleaner RFE done, they'll make that an option within Cockpit so you can run the sauce cleaner against the sauce report all in one step.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
You
Get on it, Duncan.
You can enable and disable SE Linux. So sometimes through
It's
your
gonna be out of his
troubleshooting,
hands pretty soon.
you know, SE Linux kind of gives you a problem. This is a quick way to go in and disable it, right? Give yourself that added advantage whenever you're troubleshooting something you don't want to troubleshoot. Because that's really no fun.
The cooler part of this, I think, is the fact that if there has been something that's been blocked by an SE Linux policy, it'll pop up and show you, and you can remediate it right there.
Probably. I've not seen that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. As far as subscriptions goes, right? You can write a handleable script and you go out and you can figure out what subscriptions are attached to a host. Or if you're not savvy with ASMH, you come into your individual host and you can look and see, right?
It's the truth.
If it's subscribed, when it started, and when it ends. So, and the piece de resistance on
How
this
do you tell?
is that you have a console, right? Sometimes you don't want to have to break out, open terminal session, console in. You know, you're already in the web UI of whatever thing it is that you're using. You know, just open up another screen, go to the console, type in what it is that you want to see, and you can see it. Right? They also have other plugins for this.
It's a dangerous scoop right there.
This is where the project resides, out on the upstream pieces. This is cockpit-project.org. It gives you some pretty good information on going through the individual things and what it is that you're looking at. They also have the different install methods for the different system types. Somewhere. These are the different API extensions that you can do. API.docker, right? The base packages. They have one for Gluster. And those are different modules that you can, and this is customizable. So if there's something that you want or want to see, you go in and you make yourself a plugin or something, whatever it is that you want to see. And this is the documentation. And that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to introduce you guys to it because I've been using it for quite some time now. I find it very handy, very easy to use, very intuitive.
So it's not just for Rel or Rev.
No.
That has plugins to,
Right.
and it's not just a Red Hat thing. There's other
Yes.
things that you can install and use this on.
Yeah.
So can you do a live demo?
A live demo of what?
Do a DNF install Cockpit on your Fedora laptop to show
No, absolutely.
what that interface looks like.
No, absolutely not. I'm not doing it.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Fedora piece.
I'll go up top and hit
I
install.
have, I'll see it on here somewhere.
View instructions.
There it is.
Yeah, so it can be used on Ubuntu or CentOS or
Yeah, so if you wanted to do it for any one of the individual things, it's the same documentation. So Debian, Ubuntu, Clear Linux, Arch Linux, CentOS, Project Atomic. And what's really cool is there are appliances that are coming out with this, right? So if you do OpenShift, Cockpit is installed by default. You can actually go in there and manage your Docker images. So you can do Docker pulls from Cockpit, and you can install the image from Docker or from the Cockpit with the Docker add-on. Maybe I'll flip over and show you that here in a minute. But right now we'll do DNF, or we'll do the
And the other reason I'm wanting you to do this too is so you can show Cockpit up, and then I'm going to have you install the the Cockpit Machines extension, which is going to be replacing Work Manager here at some point in time. It's being deprecated in Rel 8. You can't type I love Travis?
This apparently is one of the most complex passwords in the history of man.
the door to me.
Oh, you went back to Big Kilo last week once?
Yeah.
It's cool. Dropped in some clever stuff for encryption.
I'll just copy and paste. Rich. Oh,
We just view left when you're split it in half.
that's like your, up there.
Alright,
What you installing it on? Your local machine?
yeah, I asked him to. I put that on mine at home.
Yeah, I just installed it on mine just now. It actually installs some Clevis pieces.
Yes, it does. Because of the whole other thing, it's encrypted volumes.
It's a good thing we had a class on the clubs.
Oh, I guess I should do the other parts.
Alright.
What did I mess up? System CTO.
Do the,
I didn't do the sudo. I'm already root.
I know, but Cockpit dot socket.
Yeah, I got that.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty much the extent of the install.
I didn't see what the next part was.
You can do local.
Oh, you got some firewalls. That's what it was.
Oh, I did want to talk about this reuse. So when you see me and I'm logged into those other servers, what I've done is on all those servers, I have that same user account. For this one, you can tell it to reuse passwords for privileged tasks. What that does is it will log into those other servers and it will utilize those credentials to go
You did. This isn't our password for sure though.
Yeah, no.
Now I'll probably have to do reload.
No, when you did that.
This is one of the most complex passwords.
So
Add?
see under the
Yeah, when you do an add,
RMN, there's nothing for virtual machines there. So you're gonna add something for the VM whenever you done playing there.
Button. Dash D. Unless localhost just isn't working.
So are you ready? So you can do a DNF install cockpit dash machine.
Just do a little back address. Just do the 127.0.0. If it went to the pin set up.
Dash machine.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. The other thing you can do is cockpit dash star and see all the things that come with cockpit.
Here's
So
your
that's
I forgot.
it's a phone.
so
389.
the rev thing that you saw was rev cockpit dash over. Right, that you showed us a little bit ago, right? So the virtual machines one is different, and that's what's taking the place of your Vert manager that's in RHEL currently, and what will probably eventually take place on Fedora. Yes. Since that's the upstream project, it's hard to tell, but there's all the VMs that exist on Ray's computer, and this is another way of managing it. And this will be the de facto way moving forward in Row 8 and beyond. Did you know that, Jeff?
No.
Yeah.
Sexy.
I'm not sure that I'm super happy
So
about
hot.
it, because I started really liking Work Manager
Yeah.
to do all my stuff with.
Yeah, it's got that Windows 3.1 look to it.
Hey, don't knock it. Windows 3.11 for work groups is where it was at.
Where do you specify a disk installation?
That's right, storage size, but you don't really get to specify where the storage is pulling
Where
from.
it resides.
Again, I'm not the biggest fan of this yet, but look at disks
Oh,
there.
disks. Add this.
You can add a new disk to it and tell what pool it comes from, but on the main screen, it doesn't have that. Although I didn't play with adding new VMs because I don't have enough room right now.
That's cool.
I think
Very, very cool.
your laptop might have more space than mine.
Very, very cool. Yeah, but that's Cockpit in a nutshell. Okay, questions?
I like that. I've only really used it to play self-hosted into it, so I added a lot more in the last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So it used to be a socket as opposed to a service.
It's still a socket, because if you saw him, he enabled the socket.
Yes, which is cool. So it doesn't come on until you actually connect to the port, and then it starts it.
yeah, there's very low overhead, even when it is running.
I was just talking about this on the phone 10 minutes ago. Somebody else trying to get there over up the road.
Yeah. I like this interface.
It's just going to keep getting more robust as time goes on. I mean, it's already can do quite a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Any questions?
That concludes our lunch for the night.
All right.
Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Especially doing it on such short notice. The other guy.
Yeah. Flaked out on us, but then showed up,
Poor Peter.
even though that he can never be here on Tuesdays, ever.
You can't trust some people.
I want a part two to the cryptocurrency.
So
Stance on it.
here's